So, um, I want to look at data science, and most of the packages we are going to be making use of in the course of the training, they were built with Python programming language. Now, ordinarily, we ought to first learn Python programming language, but I feel we can start with an easier tool, right? Because oftentimes Python programming might seem. Mr. Temitaye is here. You're welcome, sir. So, so, hello, sir. Okay. So oftentimes Python programming. Okay, alright, man. So oftentimes Python programming might be a bit much, but most of these in ICT field, we have programming languages and we have tools, or we call them libraries or libraries. We call them libraries. Some people call them frameworks. Some people call them packages. Tools, packages, frameworks, and the libraries. They are similar. They mean similar things, right? Let's discuss how they are different from languages. Now, programming languages, they are the building block of those frameworks and packages. And when we are building things, maybe whether mobile app, whether web app, whether data science that we're about to use now, when we are doing these things, we usually require the use of languages. You use languages to communicate. So we need to use these programming languages in order to get these things done. But then some people will now come together and feel like, oh, there are some things that we do in virtually all projects or in most projects. Then they will develop tools, they will develop packages, they will develop libraries, they will develop frameworks to do those things. Now, the advantage of using such is that instead of us now to start doing these things from scratch, then you can easily make use of these tools to get your work done faster. It makes your work faster and it makes it easier. So, but then a good understanding of the language will still help you, because you may want to do some things that are not in that particular package or library that you want to use. So if you do not really understand the language, you may not be able to get such done. But with a good understanding of the language, it will help. But the tools will make our work faster, and we are starting with the tools. Today we are looking at something called NumPy. So we are using an online environment. Instead of installing things on our device, we don't need to. We can just go online. Open the Google tab. Search for Google Colab. Click on it. So we're going to get something called notebook. You can create a new notebook. It is in this notebook that we will write our codes or whatever we want to do. I think it wants to authorize me, so let's wait for the authorization to be done. @user equals to 0. Okay. What happened is that since my Gmail is already logged in on this browser, it should automatically log me in. Because Google owns Google Colab. Right. There was an error. Ensure that the file is saved once again. Reload. Okay. So here is where we're going to write our codes. The first thing is that you want to change the name of the file. The name of this file is untitled0.ipynb. Now, when you have a file, there are two things to a file. I want to use an example. When you have a file, there are two things to a file. If I send a picture to you, you can see that, let's see my profile picture now. If I send it to you on my image, right? It may come to you as maybe image or taye.jpg. So there are two parts to this. We have where we have the name or the base name, and we also have where we have the extension. This extension is the most important thing here. If you observe that, if I send a picture to you on WhatsApp and you download that picture, once you want to open it, WhatsApp will suggest picture or image opening software to you. If I send a video to you and you after download it on WhatsApp, WhatsApp will suggest video playing software to you. If I send a document to you, let's say PDF document, after you downloaded it, your device will suggest document opening software to you. The way it's able to know that is because of this extension. Now, with the extension now, your software, your operating system, your device is able to know the right software to suggest to open such file. Do you have any question before we proceed?
I'm still processing what you are saying.
Okay, ma.
Uncle T, please wait for me.
Okay, ma. So when I send a file to you, let's assume, let me pick any file on my device. What do I even have? Okay, for instance, if I send this video to you, or this video to you on WhatsApp, or to you anywhere, whether you collected it using USB, any means, and it got to your device, once you click on it, you will observe that your device, whether on phone, on system, they will suggest video opening software to you. Like if you have VLC, it will suggest that you should open with VLC. If I send a PDF file to you, if you download it, you notice that your operating system, your phone or system will suggest software like WPS to you to open it. Now, the reason it's able to know the right software to suggest is because of the extension. This part, .jpg at the front. If you just change this extension to something else, in fact, let's assume a picture is .jpg. If I change this to .mp4, if I'm able to find a way to change the extension to MP4, if I send the picture to you, even though it's a picture, your phone will assume that it is a video, and it will suggest video opening software to you. Now, something happened, was it not 2 weeks back? When was it, or a few weeks back? Madam Esther sent a file to me, and I think she also sent it to Mr. Temitayo, and it was a bin file, .bin. We were unable to open it. Now, the reason we could not open it was because of the extension .bin. Our operating system did not have equipment to open .bin. So it is the extension that tells the operating system the kind of file that it is, not even the name. It is this whatever ends the name of the file. So it's the same thing here. This part, .ipynb, tells us that this is a notebook. We can change the name, but you must not change this .ipynb. If you change it, it will not be able to run it as a notebook again. For instance, if I change it to .jpg, it will assume that this is a picture. Do we understand?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma. So, now, we are going to change this name. We can call it any name. Don't change it .ipynb, but you can change the name of the file to any name that is comfortable with you. I'll just call it Kala1. So that's the name of my notebook. Now, the thing is that when you create a notebook like this, Google will automatically save it inside your Google Drive. So it's already saved inside my Google Drive now. So when you want to write codes, you write codes here. You can start writing codes here. Let's write our first set of codes. In Python, if you want to print something, if you want to display something, you use the word print. Print. So if I want to display 5, I will say print 5. When you run it, it will display 5. To run it, you can click on this, run all, it will run everything. It will run everything. The alternative will be to press Ctrl Enter. You press Ctrl and Enter. it will run that particular cell. So it's running. That's why you see this rolling. It's running. It's running. So that's why you can see this 5 outside. Now the good thing about notebook is that you don't even need to use the word print. If I just put value and I run it, it will display it also. But remember, in Python, if you not use the word print, it will not show it. It will not. But in notebook, it used to display the last line. Even for instance, let me give an instance. If I say 7, if I say 1, if I say 9, when I run it, I will only see the last line, 9. I will not see 7. I will not see 1. I will only see 9. Let's run it together. You can see we can only see 9. It's not displaying 7. It's not displaying 1. It's not displaying 9. But if you want to display all of them, you use the word print. Print. Print means show this out. So this is we're using Python programming language. Print 1. This 9, because it's the last one, I may choose to use print and I may not, because it's the last line. This notebook will automatically print it. So we may choose to use print, we may not choose to use print, whichever one we want. So print means display this thing outside, show the result. So this is the result that we can see here. Any question on that?
Uncle T, I will tell you the truth. Me, I'm not learning. Nothing is entering my head.
Okay, man. Let me go right again. Now, in programming languages, they are not primarily used to display things. Meaning that, in fact, if you have 1,000 lines of code, you may only be displaying things maybe in just 1 line or just 2 lines out of the 1,000 lines of code. It's like your brain, right? It's like your brain. Your brain is thinking about a lot of things, but you're only saying just few things out. So, but most of those things you'll be doing will be to process things internally at the background. You only want to display just few things. So, when you need to display things, you need to now tell it. You need to now tell that language that I want you to show this. And because by default, it does not display things because its work is not primarily to display things. Its primary work is to process. It does a lot, programming languages do a lot of processing. So when it's time to display things, you need to tell it explicitly that this particular one, I want you to show it out. So in Python programming, in order to show things, you use the word print. When you say print, then to display it. Whatever you have inside these prints, when you say print, you put parentheses at the front like this, like bracket like this. Whatever you have inside this bracket means that I want you to show it out. So if I say print 12, meaning that show 12 outside. Do you get it?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So if I just put 6, it will not show it by default because that is not the primary work of a programming language. It's not to display something by default. So if I just say 4, it will not automatically display this 4. If I want to display it, I need to use the word print. So if I want to print 4, I will say print 4. So what I'm saying is that if I run this code, we only see 12 and 4. We will not see 6 because we did not print this 6. Do you understand it? Let me make it bigger. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So after you've written your code, if you want to run it, you can click on this play button here. It will run the codes inside this place for us. So it has executed it and this is the result. We can see 12 and we can see 4, but we can't see 6 because we did not ask it to display 6. Do you understand? Can we proceed?
Yes, yes, sir.
All right, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. So I'm now saying that notebook, we are using something called notebook. In notebooks, generally, the last line is automatically printed. Meaning that even if you not put print in the last line, it will automatically print it out for you. This is not the work of Python programming. It is because it's the work of this notebook. Notebooks generally, that is how they work. So the last line is automatically printed. So when we run this code, we will see 12, we will see 4, and we will see 2, just because this 2 is the last line here. So when you run it now, you can see 12, you can see 4, you can see 2. Now, we want to talk about something called data types. Data types. Data types means types of data. When you want to define a computer, you say a computer is an electronic device that accepts data, processes it, and gives out information. Now, data is crucial to computer. It accepts data. So, but you cannot just accept just any data. There are some types of data that must be sent to it that it can process. If you send data that is not of that type, it does not understand it. It will throw an error. It cannot process it. It does not know how to handle it. So whatever you give to it, it must be converted to the type of data that it understands. And if it is not in that format, it will reject it. Now, in Python, the first data type we are looking at is called integers. Integers, they are whole numbers.
This is not my first time learning this thing. I said this is not my first time learning this thing. You have taught me before.
That's fine. Okay. Integers are whole numbers. If you have 10, 10 is a whole number, is an integer. If you have 7, is an integer. That's a whole number. If you have 12, integers are whole numbers. The next data type is called floats. Floats are decimal numbers. 1.2 is a float. 12.0 is a float. 7.1 is a float. In mathematics, 7.0 is the same as 7, right? It's the same as 7. But 1 is an integer, 7 is an integer, 7.0 is a float. They are different things. Now, Python understands integers and floats very well. That is, if I just write 9, Python will not throw an error because it is an integer. If I just write 1.2, Python will not throw an error because it is a float. We want to look at some other data types. Another data type that we're going to look at is what we call Boolean. Here is it. Boolean. Boolean. A Boolean is anything that is either true or false. So, true is a Boolean. False is a Boolean. So we looked at integers, which are whole numbers. We looked at floats, which are decimal numbers. We looked at Booleans, which are true and false, like any of them. True is a Boolean, false is a Boolean. And these data types, Python understands them very well. Now, aside these ones that I've mentioned, if you write other things, Python does not know. For instance, if I say Taye, Python will throw an error. Is Taye an integer? No, because it's not a whole number. Is it a float? No, because it's not decimal number. Is it a Boolean? No, because it is not true or false. So if you write any other thing, Python will throw an error. If I run this code now, it will not work. You can see we have this error. Name Taye is not defined. It's telling me that it does not understand the meaning of Taye. Any questions so far?
Okay.
So, how then do I display Taye out? How do I show it out? All we need to do is to put it in quotes. In English language, if I want to report a speech in the exact words of the speaker, what do? We put it in quotes. What I'm saying is that don't process it. Just give it back to me, or I'm giving it back to you the exact way it was given to me. It's the same concept here. When you put something in quotes, you are telling Python that, see, don't process it. Just give it back to me, just like that. So if I say Taye now, this is what we call a string. Anything in quotes is known as string. String. This is another data type that Python understands. String. You put it in quotes. String just means that back to sender, give it back to me the way I've given it to you. So Taye is a string, and that's why you can see it's not showing any error now for this Taye. If I say print, my name is Taye Abidapo, it will display it the exact way that it's written. My name is Taye Abidapo. So anything in quotes is a string. Now, if I say 7, this is not an integer. This is a string because it is in quotes. Even though 7 is an integer without quotes, but because it is now within a quote, it has become a string. So what happened is that the data type of a value tells Python how to process it. What I mean is this: the way Python will process this is different from the way to process this. It's different from the way to process this. This first one is an integer. This second one is a float. This third one is a string. And the way to process them are different. To process it differently from this. Any questions so far?
That's fine. No.
Okay.
Not from my end.
Alright. See you, ma.
Don't worry, it's entering my head. Don't worry.
Okay. So the way Python processes a value depends on the data type of that value. So we've looked at integers, we've looked at floats, we've looked at booleans, and we are looking at strings. But there are still some other data types that are very important. In fact, these ones that we're about to look at now, they are the ones you're going to be making use of the most in data science. The ones that we're about to look at now, they are the ones we use the most in data science. If you're doing a lot of Python, you'll be using these ones more, these integers, float, string, and the likes. But the sets we're about to look at, those ones we want to look at now, we use them more in data science field. Now, sometimes you want to store multiple items in a container. For instance, I want to have a list of names. So we use square braces and we can put our list of names here. Taye, Kende, Ido. So this is a list. Because of these square braces, we call this a list. It's another data type. A list allows us to store multiple items inside the same container. And a list we have border. This here now is like a border to your list. The items in a list, they are separated with a comma. Taye is separated from Kende using comma. Kende is separated from Ido using comma. So the items in the list are separated with comma. This here is a list, which is another data type in Python. This list is the most used data type in Python, in data science part. We're going to be using this very, in fact, we're going to be using it much more than any other data type. But please keep something in mind, that the values you have inside your list, these things, Taye, Kende, Ido, they must be values that correspond with the data types we've considered earlier. What I mean is this: whatever you are going to put inside the list should either be an integer, a string, a float, a boolean. Like, it must be some of the data type that we've considered in the past. Do you get it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Alright. So this here is a list. Another data type that we're going to look at is, though this is where we're landing off tonight. I know that it's, I don't know. Or if you still want us to continue, it's also fine. That's also fine. Another thing that we're going to consider is what we call dictionary. Dictionary. You know, look at our dictionary at home. When you want to search for something, what do? You have something called a key. For instance, if I want to search for meaning of, let's say, which one should we look for? Maybe country, right? You open your dictionary, you go to where C is, you look for country, Then in front of country, you will see the meaning of country. What country means. So meaning that you have a key. Country is the key, while the explanation in front of country is like the value of that key. What I'm saying is this. When you have a dictionary has something called key and value. You have a key, then there's something in front of it as the value of that key. And that is how dictionary is. A dictionary is something called key value pair, a key with its value. A key, something like a word with its meaning. Let's put it like that. A word with its meaning. A word with its meaning. A word with its meaning. So let's create a dictionary. A dictionary is created with using curly braces. This is a dictionary. Inside this, you put key value pair. Name. Taye. So this is a key and this is value. That is, the meaning of name here is Taye. Department. Sorry. Software. And let's say data science. So the meaning of department here is data science. You can put another one again, a key and its value, another key and its value, on and on like that. So this is called a dictionary. Do we have any question on that?
Sir, can you retake it?
Okay.
Is it the semicolon?
Okay. Okay. We have the.
Yeah.
I can't tell you well, sir. Is it the semicolon?
Yes, sir. Is it semicolon that distinguish the word and the meaning, or do you add any other things to it? Because I don't know if this is a semicolon or the bracket.
Okay, sir.
Is it the bracket? I think the bracket came.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Let's start with this. Firstly, a dictionary is curly braces. That's the first one. But dictionary is not the only one that uses curly braces. We're going to look at another thing after this called sets. Set also uses curly braces. So, but first thing, a dictionary must be inside curly braces. Next is a dictionary must have a key and its value. That is, a word and its meaning. I can have a word called school. Then I'll put colon. Whatever is at the front of colon is the meaning of this school. So I can say the school is Lautech. So this is the key and this is the value. The one before the colon is the key. The one after the colon is the value. That is, this is like the key and this is the meaning of that key. I want to add another word and meaning again to it. Comma. I will say location. Ogbomoso. This is another word called location, and this is the meaning of my location, Ogbomoso. I'm the one that decided to give it Ogbomoso as its meaning. You can use any meaning of your choice. Maybe yes, or year funded. Year funded. This is the what? And the meaning of that is Lautech was founded in is it 2000 now? No, 1990. Yeah. So this is another word, and this is the value I'm giving to it. So use the colon to separate the key and its value. We call it key value pair. That is, a key and a value forms a pair. This is a pair. Another key and its value forms another pair. Another key and its value forms another pair. So we call it key value pair. Do you get it, sir?
Yes, sir. Can we print it so that we can send it to the outcome?
Like that also. It will display just like that. So we're still going to look at the usage of these things.
I noticed something.
Okay, sir. Okay, ma'am.
The last one, the key and the value. Will you put 1990 in the bracket and it still give us our results?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, in a quote.
Yes, ma'am. Because it's an integer. If I put it in quotes, it means it must be a string. But the problem is that if I remove this quote in Ogbomoso, it will not work. Because there is no data type that Ogbomoso fall into. 1990, if it's not inside a quote, it falls into a string. Do you understand it?
Yes, sir. I understand now.
Okay.
But if we should display this, that means Ogbomoso will not show. Is it Ogbomoso that will not show?
All of them will not show it. It's an error.
Okay.
Name Ogumosha is not defined.
Okay.
So if we put this 1990 in quote, it will still work fine. Because now it has become a string. It's another data type in Python that Python allows. If it's not within quote, it's still another data type that Python allows. So whichever one, whether it's within quote or it's not within quote, these numbers, we don't really have to put numbers in quotes. So if you run this now, this is working fine. And the quotes can either be single quotes or double quotes. Python sees them as the same thing. You can use the one you are more comfortable with. Do you have any question?
No from my end, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
No.
All right, ma'am. Madam Esther, are you there, ma'am? Okay. Maybe she's busy.
No, I'm there.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Let's look at two more data types. And so tonight, it means we are done with data types tonight. If we look at the remaining two. So we looked at lists, we looked at dictionary. We want to look at something called sets. Sets. A set looks like a list, and at the same time, it looks like a dictionary. What I mean is this. It uses curly braces like a dictionary, but its item will just be placed there like a list. So this is a set. You can have sets of numbers also. You can have set of numbers. So this is a set. And finally, we look at something called tuple. Tuple is the last data type we are looking at. Tuple. Tuple uses parentheses like this. So this is a tuple. You can put items inside a tuple. This is a tuple. So any item that we put there must be either an integer, a string, a float, a boolean, just like others. All of these data types that we've considered, they can, whatever you are putting inside of them should be one of those data types that we looked at earlier, string, boolean, and the likes. So here, this one is a tuple. It's a tuple. So we're going to look at, in our next class, we'll look at the uses of this data type. When should you use this?
Can you spell the tuple?
Like this.
Exactly. I wanted to ask for that.
Alright, sorry for not spelling this. So here is a tuple.
Sorry, this tuple
Yes, ma'am.
is like, what's the difference?
Ma? Hello, ma?
And can you hear me?
I can hear you now, ma.
I think what's the difference between this tuple and integer?
Okay, ma. Integers are not inside parentheses, no brackets.
Okay.
An integer is just a single number, not multiple numbers. If I do this, these are 3 integers, not 1. Meanwhile, if I do this, this is 1 tuple. Do you understand this? Because they are inside a single bracket. So this is 1 tuple. But if I write 12, 10, 7, we have 3 integers. Because they are 3 separate entities. They are not together. All the data types we've looked at, like the list, the dictionary, the set, and the tuple. The reason we have them is to be able to group many items together inside a single container. Do you get it?
Yes.
Okay. So a list is to group multiple items together. Same with a dictionary, same with a set, and same with a tuple. All of them, they allow us to group multiple items together. But each of them now has its own distinct usage and when to use which. So let's have a quick recap of tonight's class. So tonight we looked at extension. You open your notebook, you can change the name, but you must keep the extension. Now we looked at using print to display something. If you want to display anything, use the word print. Then after that, we looked at we also discussed that the last line is automatically printed. You don't need to write the word print. Then we looked at data types. The types of data tells Python how to process that data. Meaning that the way Python will process Taye Kehinde is different from the way to process Taye Kehinde. This is a list, while this is a tuple. So the first data type we looked at was integer. Integers are whole numbers. The second one is a float. The third one is a boolean. The next one is a string. Strings are things within quotes. Anything in quotes is a string. Right. Now, let me quickly chip this in before I leave this section, please. It's very, very important. This is a string. It's no longer a list, because it's now within a single quote. Like it is now, all of this now, they are now inside quotes. So this, if it's like this, remember I said this can be single quotes, can be double quotes. All of this, what you have here now, is now a string. Anything in quotes whatsoever, once it's within quotes, it becomes a string. Okay, let's proceed. So we looked at data types that also allow us to store multiple items, and we said list. List is the one we're going to be making use the most. It seems to be the most maybe versatile among these, or the remaining four. That is list, dictionary, set, and tuple. So list allows us to store multiple items and is denoted with square braces like this. Then we have dictionary. Dictionary is denoted with curly braces like this. And dictionary uses key value pair, a key and its value. Then we looked at set. Set also uses curly braces, but it does not use key value pair. It just values alone. No key. Then tuple uses parentheses like this. And so those are the four data types that we have looked on. Question before assignment.
No question from my end.
No, my.
Okay, alright. Here's our assignment. Assignment is going to be like this. Create a list that is going to maybe a list that contains the institutions you've attended, like a list. Inside that list, you can put your first institution there, then comma your second institution, like institutions that you've attended, maybe primary school, or should I use institution? No, institution maybe too. Food that you like. I think that would be better. Create a list that will contain the food you like. Rice, comma, beans, comma. After you've created it, go to the next line. Then create a dictionary to describe yourself. That is my name, colon, then the value of my name. In my own case, Taye, comma, then maybe church, colon, the value of my church, government, comma, your name and your value. Now, print out, let's print, I'm looking at what we can print. Print out the two of them. Let's do it like that. Print out the two of them. So we are creating a list and a dictionary, and we are printing out the two of them. So in our next class, we are going to look at something called variables. Variables in Python programming. Now, the reason we are learning Python is because we are not going too deep in Python. We are not going deep in Python, but we need to have knowledge of Python because what you're going to this platform makes use of Python. This is Python. Thank you so much. Good to have us in class. Thank you so much. So our next class will be tomorrow. I think for now we're going to be meeting Monday, Tuesday, and maybe Sunday. Our next class will be 8 p.m. tomorrow. 8 p.m. tomorrow.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. Ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ma'am. So, good night, sir. Good night, ma'am. I'll send
Sorry,
you.
one last question before we go.
Okay, sir.
Yes, how are we going to get the video, sir?
I'll send the link to the group.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So what I want to ask is this collab.com we can only use it on the system. We can't use it on the phone, right?
No, you can use it on phone, sir. You can use it on phone. Yes, sir. You're welcome, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. We are grateful, sir.
You're welcome, ma. Thank you, ma. Thank you,
Shegun
ma.
Yamolore.
Oluwaseun, ma.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
See you, ma. Thank you, ma.
Thank you, ma. Thanks to us.